The use of mantle lexicon. Lexical knowledge of a native speaker does not have the format of a dictionary differently found. We stored words differently than a paper dictionary. First, the number of lexical entries in a good dictionary is much higher. We know that there are dictionaries of different types, student dictionary, technical dictionaries, and the words found in them are in different number, right? Generally, it is believed that the words in English language, for example, are more than 1 million, right? And obviously, even the native speaker can know all these words, right? So, how many? There are many words which native speakers do not know. And then there is a passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary that we may say as native speaker of a language that we understand their meaning, but we practical do not use them. The active vocabulary, the set of words one uses in language production, is much smaller. Obviously, if you keep focusing on the word that you use or record them, you will know that you repeatedly use many words. So your actual vocabulary or actual words that you use is smaller. A dictionary is conservative by the nature because you can find words which are no more used in a language. A dictionary generally gives the words which have been in use for many years, even many centuries. However, there are certain words which are obsolete, but generally it has the words of the past as well. Compared to this, mantle lexicon will always be ahead of the dictionary and contains a substantial number of words that are not listed in dictionaries. There are many words which we use in our daily interaction which are not found in any dictionaries. However, it is hoped that with the passage of time, they'll give given importance and will be added to our dictionaries. New word neologism, as we discussed in the introduction to morphology in the beginning of this module, that there are many words which are continuously coined in every language, right? But these words are not found in the dictionaries. So actual dictionaries far lag behind in this case compared to the actual words in the dictionary. A second difference between a dictionary and the mantle lexicon is that words in the mantle lexicon bear a number of relationships to each other on the basis of semantics, on the basis of phonology, on the basis of morphology. They have certain relationships with each other. Words with similar meanings or similar phonological forms appear to be related in the mantle lexicon, as can be concluded from many speech errors. Generally, when we make a speech error, we make an error in which we use in a word incorrectly, but it has some relationship on the basis of morphologies, phonology, or semantics with the correct word. Someone talking about the sympathy of a musical conductor used the word symphony because symphony goes with conductor. In a dictionary, semantic relation between words are usually not expressed explicitly, right, or directly, right? There are differences. However, in the mantle dictionary, they are found related to each other. The mantle lexicon is a multi-dimensional web of words with all kinds of connections between those words, semantic similarities, phonological similarities, and morphological similarities. These are found in the mantle lexicon, and these relationships are found, whereas they are not found in a dictionary. In a dictionary, words have one type of relationship only, and that is alphabetical order. words are stored or compiled in a dictionary on the basis of their alphabetical relationship. Obviously, the words starting with B come after the letter A, and the word starting with C will follow B. There cannot be so that B comes first and or later. This ordering is based on the degree of orthographical similarities between words. A third difference between a dictionary and a mantle lexicon is that the latter also store information about the frequency with which you come across words. I mean, the more we use a word, the more readily we know that word. So, it is not the case with the dictionary. Linguists may compute the frequency of words on the basis of large corpora of actual language use. They find the words from the large treasure of the words that they have, the corpora. We discuss it into Introduction to Linguistics, the corpora linguistics, in which we discuss that how do dictionaries are compiled, how do they get their material from. Frequency count indicate how many tokens are found for each word type in a particular corpus, how many times a word has been used. Function words such as determiner have a relatively high frequency. Obviously, just look at that determiner V. We use it quite frequently compared to other words. So there are many words which are used more frequently than others. Within the set of English adjective, we use nice more frequently than a word like opaque. A high frequency word is more easily recognized. Obviously, the more frequently we use a word, the more frequently we recognize that word. Frequency of exposure to a word correlates with the activation level of that word in the mental dictionary. The word we use more frequently has more frequent level of activation in our mental lexicon. The mind is activated quickly than it is activated with other words which are less frequently used or which have low frequency. A word with a higher activation level is activated faster in language processing. A related effect is the cumulative frequency effect. The frequent singular form of a noun will also have a frequency effect on its plural form. For example, if you use book, obviously it's a very common word, we use more frequently, but its plural, books, is used less frequently, but the cumulative effect will also be on the plural form. The token frequency of related inflectional word forms contribute to the activation level of each of them. So we readily recognize both book and books because the activation level is very quick. So obviously, when we can readily recognize a word which has same base, so this is known as base frequency effect also. Another example is the cumulative root frequency effect. It means the summed frequency of all words with the same root also appear to affect response latency of individual complex words containing that root. So this is the response latency is that the duration between stimulus and response is very shorter. If we have a word and this word has the root which is used in other words, the word has certain complex form. The complex forms are also readily recognized because the activation level is quite fast as we are familiar with the root. So this is known as cumulative root frequency effect.